Hey guys, Andrew from E-Flite here. Welcome back for another RC update video. Had some really cool stuff rock up this week, a whole container full of aircraft and cars. We've got some awesome stuff to show you, including this Viper jet from E-Flite. So let's get into it and show you what we've got. The Viper is a brand new release from E-Flite. This is a 70mm electric ducted fan. It does come in two versions, a bind and fly and a plug and play version also. The plug and play would be ideal for non-spectrum transmitter users. So if you use a different brand of radio system, a plug and play would be ideal. It would allow you to put your own receiver in and fly this fantastic aircraft. Otherwise it's pre-assembled, so all you need to do is add your receiver, a battery and charger. The bind and fly version though, for spectrum users is a fantastic option. It comes with a receiver pre-installed, and with that receiver you get some extra technology. Now typically a jet like this would be reserved for experienced pilots. It wouldn't be a great beginner's aircraft, but with the Safe Select and AS3X technology on board, it does open it up to not necessarily a beginner, but maybe someone who's in the intermediate area, has flown before, is reasonably confident in the air and wants to try their hand at jets. This would be a fantastic option. The Safe Select gives you flight modes. It allows you to have self-leveling, so some functions that you wouldn't find on a standard EDF like this. The Viper has that available to you at the flick of a switch, so you can go from full control, aerobatics, and then flick back to some self-leveling and a bit of essentially assist to help you get familiar with it. This aircraft comes almost ready to go, so it's only a slight bit of assembly out of the box, putting the wing on and the tail section on, charging up your battery. For this aircraft it's going to be a 6-cell LiPo, somewhere around the 3800 range would be ideal. But everything else is pre-fitted, so your electronics are pre-fitted, servos. It does have flaps and electric retracts as well, factory fitted. So all in all, a really nice aircraft. The paint scheme's really well done, and overall finish of the aircraft is quite nice as well. Another thing is it's quite easy to take apart for transport. So the wing comes off quite easily. It's only a couple of screws. Same with the tail actually. So you can get this aircraft into quite a small car, transport around, and go fly it at your favourite park or flying field, and you'll be up in the air in a matter of no time. Much like the Viper, the F-16 is another 70mm EDF release from E-Flite. Now this is a really exciting aircraft, done in the Thunderbird scheme. Again, it comes in two options, a plug and play and a bind and fly. Plug and play is great for those who aren't Spectrum users, but if you are a Spectrum user, take advantage of the bind and fly version with your receiver. Really great options with that. You get your AS3X, which is your 3-axis gyro stabilization, which really helps the aircraft track really smoothly, feel really locked in the air. And then also you get your Safe Select. So this is aimed at intermediate to advanced pilots. The Safe Select allows you to have self-leveling, bank angle limits at the flick of a switch. So if you are the intermediate pilot, maybe you're transitioning into your first jet, it's an ideal feature to have, to be able to flick a switch, regain your composure, the aircraft self-leveled, and then flick the switch back off and get back into it, or fly around in that self-leveled mode to familiarize yourself with the plane. The bind and fly version, you will need to add a battery. Again, it is a 6-cell LiPo. Something in the 3000 to 4000 range would be ideal. This aircraft has a fantastic finishing color scheme on it, and some really amazing performance. The slow flight performance of this with the AS3X system working for you is quite incredible. There's some great videos Horizon Hobby have put up of them testing this aircraft, flying in the snow, flying out of a very small car park, landing, basically doing almost spot landing with an EDF, which is quite amazing. So a really fantastic performing aircraft, and a great looking one at that. Great release from E-Flite. The 230S V2 builds on the successful 230S line of helicopters that Blaze have had out. They're a fantastic option for those who are looking for an indoor and outdoor helicopter. It is a 230 size heli, so they're a reasonable size, but certainly something that you could fly in a basketball court size area indoors with ease. One of the great features of this helicopter is that it comes in two versions, a bind and fly and a ready to fly. With the ready to fly you get absolutely everything you need in the box: battery, charger, helicopter transmitter, pre-programmed and ready to go. So all you need to do is really go to a flying location, get your battery charged up first, go to a flying location and get practicing. And one of the great features with this heli for beginners is the panic recovery. So you'll have essentially a button on your transmitter that you can click, if you are getting into trouble, it'll right the aircraft, provided you have enough altitude to do so. So if you're upside down an inch off the ground, it's not going to work so good. But if you have a little bit of height, the helicopter will self-level, self-right, and allow you to regain your composure and get straight back into it. So it's a fantastic tool, stops many crashes, especially with beginner pilots. You get into trouble, you get disorientated. The panic recovery system really helps that. Couple that with your flight mode system as well. So you got beginner, advanced mode, so you can do all the way up to 3D aerobatics with a heli like this. But your beginner mode with your panic recovery, it's a great option for people learning how to fly, and is really going to essentially save you dollars in the long run by not crashing as much. The 22ST is a fantastic RTR option from Losi. Now this car has a few different configurations on the battery side of things that can really take it from mild to wild on the performance side of things, and it comes almost ready to run with some fantastic running gears. So what you get in the box is the car pre-assembled, ready to go, as well as your Spectrum radio system. It is running a Spectrum receiver and servo, and with that Spectrum receiver you get a thing called AVC, which is active vehicle control. What this does is essentially a gyro for the steering, so it helps you, it gives you an assist basically on low grip surfaces and high grip for that matter. Helps you keep the car pointing in the right direction. It is adjustable on the transmitter, so you have a knob to adjust how much effect that has. So for the more experienced drivers, you might want to turn it off. If you're handing it to someone who's driving it for the first time, you might want to turn it up all the way, but it leaves you, the owner and the driver, up to choose how much effect that has over the car. The car itself is built on the 22 platform, so it's a tried and true platform, rear-wheel drive car, running a dynamite brushless system. It does need a battery to complete this. Now you do have a few options with this. You can go from a nickel metal hydride all the way up to a 3-cell LiPo. So 2-cell LiPo and 3-cell LiPo would probably be the most common power settings. You will get your top speed, so your 50 mile an hour, your 100k an hour-ish on the 3-cell setup. And then you can play with pinions as well, keeping temperature of the motor in mind. One of the great things about all of the Losi vehicles is their simplicity and ease to work on. Now, an RC car is, durability is obviously a #1 thing when buying a model car, but also when you do break it, which is kind of inevitable, especially with a car that goes this fast, being able to work on it and replace parts is key. So the 22S is super simple, nice and thought out with the layout, so it's really easy to work on, to change parts if you need to. You've got your one-piece tie rods, so no need to worry about adjusting camber and things like that there. The car runs, like I said, a dynamite electronic system, so brushless ESC and 3300 kV motor, Spectrum servo and Spectrum receiver as well. One of the neat features about this car is the bottom loaded battery. A lot of cars, batteries loaded from the top, which means you need to take the body shell off to change batteries. The great thing about the 22S, if we flip it upside down here, is the bottom loaded battery system. So you have two, they're essentially thumb screws. You can kind of get in there and move them with your hand. If not, like a flat blade screwdriver, this flap comes up, you can load your battery in. Obviously you have your ESC connector poking through from the bottom here, but you can load that through from the bottom, so no need to even take the body shell off. Makes it nice and easy when you are doing battery swaps. Super quick, and you can get back out and have some fun even faster than before. Thanks for joining us again this week for another RC update. Had some fantastic brand new product arrive to us, the Viper and the F-16. Go and check those out on the website. They are in limited quantities. They will be a hot seller. So I'd advise go and check that out if you are interested. The 230 SV2, the 22 ST, and an old favourite that's been out of stock for a little bit. We've finally got another shipment of the Commander from E-Flite. Fantastic aircraft. We actually have done a flight video on this as well. So beautiful flying aircraft, and a really nice looking one at that. Thanks for joining us again. I'm Andrew from Model Flight, and we'll see you next time.